Hi, welcome to Cincinnati Museum Center's CrEATe Culinary Studio featuring the Kroger Food Lab. We're in here today not talking about food science, but food history. And I'm joined today by Catherine Gould, our curator of history objects and fine art.
Yep.
And Joe Bites, our manager of reference and research.
Yep.
And our Cincinnati History Library and Archives. A lot of titles thrown around.
Yeah.
But we're here because as we were preparing the space, we were looking through some old recipes, and you had stumbled across something that we just had to make, right?
Right. So we have a collection of diaries from John May, who was an explorer in the Ohio Company. He lived in Boston, was part of the Boston Tea Party. But in the 1780s, when they were coming down to settle in Marietta, he thought he was going to come down and make his fortune. It didn't work out that great. But in the front of his debt book, which is where he keeps his expenses, there was a recipe for rum jelly. And I showed it to Catherine, and she read through it and said, it's Jello shots. So
Jello
here we
shots.
are.
But not just any old Jello shots. These are Colonial Jello shots, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right, so I feel like I am not dressed appropriately for this. All right, this is better. Now I'm ready to party like it's 1776. So we're making Colonial Jello shots. Can you actually read that recipe?
I can.
Like, do we know what we're making?
We are making Colonial Jello shots.
Okay, fine. All right, how do we get started?
I will say, though, that we're going to cut the recipe because this makes a lot of Jello shots.
It makes a lot of Jello shots.
And we had to alter a few of the ingredients.
I mean, there's always takeaway.
To a quart of common white wine,
Okay.
take a pound of sugar.
It's a lot of sugar.
That's a lot of sugar.
I did some research on this. A pound is 2 cups for anyone following along at home who is 21 or over. So we're going to cut that in half, and we're going to do a cup of sugar. But we did peek ahead, so we're going to reserve a little bit of this
Okay.
for future use. But if you want to put the rest of that in there.
Okay. Well, dang.
Told you it got hot.
For anyone who can't smell or has never smelled boiling wine, it's terrible. All right, so we have the wine, and we need...
And then you're going to reduce it.
1 cup of sugar?
We're going to reduce the cup of sugar to a syrup of clarified. Just clarified. So it's like a simple syrup.
We're making a simple syrup.
You have a spoon?
What kind of white wine would they have had at this time?
So probably a really sweet white wine. I mean, we're using a Pinot Grigio, which is a little dry. But theirs would have been probably sweeter. Possibly Catawba. I'm not sure if we're a little early for Catawba. But I'm guessing a lot sweeter, and then you add a pound of sugar, so I don't want to think about it.
All right.
Okay.
So we're working on making a wine simple syrup.
You're making your syrup. And so then you would take an ounce of isinglass, which is an ingredient that is in this recipe. Had to Google it a bunch. It's made from fish, and it's still used in clarification and things for breweries, but we do not have any of that. So we're just using...
It can also be used to repair stucco, so...
Okay, yes. Yes, it was commonly called fish glue, so sadly we didn't have that to put in.
So the missing ingredient is fish glue.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we didn't have any fish glue on hand, but we did have some unflavored gelatin
Yes.
that we're gonna pour here.
So the next thing it says is to take an ounce of isinglass gelatin, put it on the fire until it is thoroughly melted, and pass it through a cloth.
And so we need to swap.
But we don't really need to clarify anything out here because we're not cooking over a campfire.
Yeah, since you can't pick up isinglass at the grocery, we're substituting. So we're kind of fudging it with the gelatin instructions we have. How's your simple syrup going?
It's pretty well dissolved, so I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay, how's your gelatin going?
It's a little clumpy, but
Okay.
that's got to be good for the innards.
Yes, perfect. Okay, and then you're going to pass it through a cloth and mix it with the syrup half warm.
Okay.
All right.
So you can translate that how you would like.
We need to take this off.
Yep. We'll fire that off. Half warm.
And then you're going to mix it there until it is nearly cold.
nearly cold.
This is a good reminder that they had a lot of time on their hands back then, right? That they
Yes.
that they had time to watch boiling
And you're-
water, boiling liquid just cool.
Stir it well so as to mix it completely. Then add a spoonful or spoonful and a half, deciding the strength which you desire to give the jelly of old Jamaican rum.
So at the time, like Jamaica's where they made rum. Like they made
Right.
rum in the Caribbean.
Right. It would have
It's
been,
not just for pirates anymore.
well, at the time. Yeah, but yes, also for
Okay. so-
patriots.
for patriots, you mentioned he was at the Boston Tea
He
Party.
was.
How many rum jellies do you think they had before they went to the Boston Tea Party?
I'm thinking maybe a fair amount. I'm not
Yeah,
sure, though.
we should do some more research on that.
Yeah.
Road trip.
I mean, this is the stuff you don't get to read about in history books. This is the benefit of diving into the archives, of reading through stuff that gets left out.
Also, in his little book, he has a remedy for cancer and tapeworms. So if you're curious,
He's a Renaissance man.
he is.
You showed it to me, but those recipes, there's a recipe for rat poison,
Yes.
which is very close to a recipe for
There's a
gingerbread loaf.
Yeah, they're all kind of together. So be careful what you mix in.
Sure. All right, we're gonna
Okay.
say that's warmish, right?
Yep.
And
So
then-
add this to that.
Gelatin to.
Add it all together.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna hit that in there.
And the rum has been added, or no?
No,
Not yet.
Okay.
How many spoonfuls of rum do we want to add?
So it said
I do one spoonful.
1 to 1.5.
1 to 1.5.
Depending on your.
Yeah.
So say we go the 1.5. But cut that
We
would
only
be.
have
You said 1.5. A spoonful for us is going to be a tablespoonful. So
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the other thing.
And am
I
I
don't
still
know what a
stirring?
spoonful was exactly.
you're still stirring.
You're
until
gonna keep
that's
stirring.
coolish. Until it's
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
All right.
Gonna be stirring until the end of days.
You wanted 1.5, right?
I mean, we're here.
Stir again this mixture and pour it into the mold, that it may take the shape in cooling which you desire to give it, intended for a plate on the table, or into glasses if designed to be handed round at an evening party.
We're handing our glasses around to our fellow Boston Tea Party revelers.
Okay.
So we're gonna do them in these little ramekins. A lot of people may remember these from their darker days, but we're doing it in the name of history today.
That's right. Other duties as assigned.
That's they talk about some of the benefits of working in a museum. You get to work with dinosaurs. You get to work with historic documents. You get to work with really cool people. You get excuses to make 18th
shots.
century Jello shots. All right, so here's a little trick I know.
Okay.
Some past life experiences I have.
In there?
Hit that in there. We'll cut it if Catherine burns herself.
I said these won't melt, will they?
HR isn't here.
Yeah, everyone signed their waivers, right? And because these are going to have to go in and cool and set up for a little bit. Which,
Half full?
Yeah, sure.
yeah,
See how we're rooming?
glasses always have full.
Yeah,
So, without coolers, the isinglass must have just set up when it
much quicker. Maybe.
when it got to room temperature, right? Wow, they had it made. Could you imagine if Martha Washington hosting a party and bringing out the Jello shots?
It's time to party.
Like John Adams just getting down.
Yeah, be fun.
I
I picture that more of the Benjamin Franklin thing.
for sure Benjamin Franklin. He's
I mean,
like, I made bifocals, and they're like, no, Ben, you still just have the one pair on. You just had a little too much rum jelly.
they really
We
should have
ignore-
worked. Yeah, they should have worked this into the Hamilton musical, honestly.
Yeah, all they were ever drinking was ale.
You're really good at this.
I'll just say they don't smell great.
They do not smell.
They don't smell awful, but they don't smell great.
It smells a little musty. Like it's.
That's what I'm saying. But so
They're historic Jello shots. They have to be musty.
They're from the archive.
Yes, exactly. Our archives are not musty. They are humidity control.
We're gonna start a party history series where we find what party recipes we can pull out of the archives. All right, so now this is not in the original recipe, but we know that we need to chill these.
Right.
So let's pop these.
Get your refrigerator.
And go find 12 of our best friends.
Yes.
We're 6.
Or 6.
And just like that. Look at it. It's
Wave.
it's there. It's a thing.
It exists.
All right.
Okay.
Who wants to try them?
All right.
This is in the name of history.
Cheers. Cheers, people.
Oh.
Hang on.
Oh, God. Cheers.
All right.
Oh, God, it feels weird. Mine won't come out.
No,
Oh, it's not as terrible as I thought.
it's not bad.
It
It's
smells
all
worse.
sugar.
It smells worse than it tastes. Yeah, it is. It's just like a block of sugar
It is.
or honey.
There's so much sugar in these. And what were the dental practices like at the time? Because
Maybe Catherine can get some historic dental tools we can discuss next time.
I got a really nice set in the collection.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
so if you're planning your next party and you're looking for something to bring, reach out to us. We'll see what we have in the collections. We can also share the rum jelly recipe if you need it, because this would be a hit, right? I mean, if you're going to, no, you don't think so? Like if you have friends who are really into
if you're
history,
hanging out with your nerdy friends, absolutely, yes. Yes.
And I will say we have another recipe book. I think if we're going to round out the dinner party, it's got a wonderful recipe for banana meatloaf. I say that's the next one.
okay, we'll just put ourselves through the gauntlet. Some things are lost to history for a reason. I think banana meatloaf might be one of those.
Howard.
Okay.
Catherine, Jill, thank you so much.
It was fun.
Thank you for joining us. This is just a taste of some of the fun that you can have when you mix food with history, with science, when you really think of different ways that you can learn, that you can approach the past. So
Absolutely.
while this will not be a program that we are doing here in the CrEATe Culinary Studio,
You can do it in your own home.
it is fun to find new ways to learn. So thank you all so much. And if you are over 21, give it a try at home. Thanks.